All right, everybody, we're going to be continuing on with our work with line traces, and this is going to add some fun stuff to your game because now we're going to be able to pick things up. We're going to use a thing called a physics handle, which is going to look at the things that we're hitting with our line trace and see if it's simulating physics, and if it is, then we're going to be able to pick it up. Of course, we have to build everything, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's go into our FP simple character right down here. I've already got this open, and this is our character. Now remember, we stripped a lot of things out of our first person character, things that we didn't need, the gun, a lot of the VR stuff, we pulled those out, and we have just this now. So what we're going to build is going to be a little bit separate from the movement and mouse input and things like that. So we're going to go out here to a nice little space, just a little empty space over here so we can work. Okay. Now I've already put in a physics handle. To get that, you can just go up here to add components, type in just a little bit of physics handle, and you didn't have to get very far, and you see it right there. Okay. Once you click on that, it's going to drop down here right below your character movement, and we want to just have that ready. Okay, so you can use any key you want to really for this action of picking things up. I like to use the right mouse key because we're going to end up associating the movement with our mouse so we can pick things up and move it around. So I'm going to use the right mouse button. Okay, if you decide to use the space bar or something else like that, that's fine. Know that the space bar is probably tied to jump. Don't use W, A, S, and D because those are your move around keys, and some of the others may already be mapped, so just check those out. But you should be able to use whatever you want, really. Okay. So once we press our right mouse key, what we want to do is just go straight into building that line trace. Okay. So the line trace is a line trace by channel. That's what we're working with currently. Okay. And just like before, we need to specify how far out we want that line trace to go. So to find out how far we're going to go, we need to figure out where we're going to start. Probably the easiest ones to work with as far as figuring out where we want to start would be our camera, because that's where we're seeing everything from. And from here, we want to get the world location of our camera. Oop, I got to spell things correctly. And we're just going to tie that right into our start. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to know which way we're facing. Okay, and that information is in a vector. We'll be able to tell which way we're facing by getting the forward vector. So get forward vector of our camera. And then we need to extend out where that vector is. So we're going to multiply this vector times a float. Okay, so we're going to pull off of here. We're going to use the asterisk key, and we're going to look for vector times float. This is kind of handy because we're just going to be able to put in a number here to say how far out we want this to go. I want to say 400. That'll get us a good place to start from. And then we need to add that value back into where we first were, add the space that we just did with the multiplication of the forward vector. So we're going to add two vectors together here to create the line for our line trace. Okay, so now we know where it begins, and we also know where it ends. All right, so we can see how our trace is going out. We want to look at some things on here. First is visibility. We're using that trace channel. So when you're looking at the objects that are in the area, if you're having some trouble getting a trace to activate on it, you may want to check the visibility channel and make sure it's set for block. If it's on ignore or overlap, it's not going to show up. So you could also check on camera, but since ours is on visibility, it doesn't really matter what they have on camera. All right, now for the draw debug type, one frame is not going to be up for very long, so I think while we're doing this, probably for duration, that's just while we're clicking on the button, we should see something. So this is our line trace, and we should be able to use it now. I'm going to go ahead and hit compile. Let's go into our level. We're going to hit Alt-P. That drops us in. And let's see. We can get a good hit here. I am not getting a good hit with that. Oh, see, I actually was getting a good hit. It's just that I think I'm getting it a little off to the side. So I've got something a little odd going on here. Let's figure that out. All right, so our first person camera is right there. Let's look at our viewport. Our first person camera is maybe a little bit off to the side. Let's see. No, not bad. Let's check back here. Let's see, get world location. Oh, see what I did? I'm a silly. Because you have to add these two things together. I need to drag this into here. So they'll add them together so we actually have it going out in the right direction too. So we have our forward vector, and that was being fed in, so that was kind of making it skew off to the side. Let's go ahead and take a look at this again. Okay. Did I do that mistake on purpose? Who knows? All right, yeah, now we're getting a good hit. There we go. Perfect. All right. And we know we're getting a good hit because we're getting a green line on the other side, and we're getting a little red cube where we're actually contacting that mesh. Let's take a look at how it's affecting these others. We got a good hit there. We're going to have no hit on this red one. And this kind of pink one over here, we got a good hit on that. So it looks like our red one may have an issue. We'll have to come back and take a look at that. All right, now let's start building the part where we're going to actually pick up the objects that we have in our level. So to do that, we need to understand what we've hit with our line trace. Now you can go in here and you can get a break hit result node that's right here, and if we drop this out, you'll see that it has a lot of the information that we would want to pull from a hit result. But the line trace by channel already kind of has this. If you go over here to out hit, you right click on it, split the struct pin, you can see that all this stuff is pretty much the same. Okay, in fact, we even have a little bit of extra information here with this return value that we don't have with the break hit result. So I'm just going to stay with this struct pin when we pulled apart here, and we want to extend this over to let's see, we want to grab component with the physics handle. Okay, and we need to, the component that we want to grab, we're going to need to put that in there. So we'll take from our break hit result, we're going to tie that into here. Okay, and then we also need to know the world location of what we just hit. So we're going to grab that and we're going to pull that out. This is going to help us with our vector information about where this is supposed to be. We're going to do get world location. There we are, right there. All right, now I drag this up here and we'll be able to see the we'll be able to get that location now. So whenever we click on this, we should get a good hit. Let's see, is that enough to get us what we need? I don't think it is, but let's see. No. And the reason for that is we hit it and everything, but it's not going to respond to us moving the mouse. So what we need to do is put some stuff on the mouse so it'll give it a new target location. Okay, so let's go take a look at our mouse. We're also going to take this with us, and we're going to move over to our mouse controls. I'm going to highlight these because we're going to need them here in just a second. I'm going to do Control W. That copies and pastes all in one little stroke there. Bring this over to our mouse controls, which are right here. Okay, so we're using the same information as what we have with our line trace because this is where we're going to put our object whenever we pick it up. So we need to use this same information here. All right, so we're going to drag off of this and we're going to get the set target location off of each one of these. So we're going to set our new target location. Well, that's not the name of the node, but it's going to be new all the time. Let's see, location, and we're going to want to do this for both of these, but let's see how it works with just our yaw input in here. This should work without too much trouble, but we aren't going to be able to pick it up. So with that in mind, actually, let's connect this instead. Kind of curious if that might work that way. Let's try it. Let's just see. Let's see what we get. It compiles, so that's something. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, we're going to go over here. Oh, we can pick it up just fine with just one little node. Now, I do have a problem. I can't get rid of this thing. I can't let go of it. So we're going to have to figure out what we can do about that. Okay. Oh, that one's definitely responding to physics. This one's not. I think we're learning a little bit about why some of these aren't working. Okay, so I actually don't have to have two set target locations here. Just use the one. We'll just tie both of these pins in here. Not always, you don't always get execution pins that can go into the same one. So sometimes it'll work, sometimes it doesn't. You just have to try it out. All right, so since we can't let go of this thing, let's go up here and we need to set up the release. Okay, so just like we have a grab component location, we're going to use this right here, and we're going to do release component physics handle. There we are. Okay, so that should be enough, really. Okay, let's go ahead and hit play. I'm going to spin this around here. We pick it up. Okay, now there's ways to get rid of that rotation, so don't worry, we can play with that later, but it's kind of fun to have it just kind of hang in there, and then we can throw it. Woo! Oh, hey, I got a good arm. All right, let's see. Can we pick this one up? No, we got a good hit. Red one? No, we don't have any hit at all, just like before. And, oh, hey, we could pick this one up. Nice. All right. That's looking pretty good. All right. So, we are getting an error. Okay. And let's talk about why we're getting that error. Now, some of the time when I was clicking on stuff, I wasn't clicking on an object. So our line trace went out and it didn't touch anything. Okay, so let's for instance go out here. I'm not going to touch, I'm not going to try and connect this line trace with anything. I'm just going to make a bunch of line traces out here, make this pretty laser spider web thing. Okay, and it'll start to disappear over time. But when I leave, look at all the errors. And that is because I wasn't actually contacting anything with the line trace. So the nice thing is we do have a node we can use on this split struct pin on this line trace that helps us out. Just like usual, if you hover over something, it'll give you more information. So in this case, this one will give us a true hit if we actually contact something. And that can help us out because if we're not contacting something, we don't want to try and use the grab. And if we are contacting something that, you know, is something actually there, then we can try and use the grab. Okay, so to do that, if we have a condition statement, we're going to use a branch. Okay, so we do a branch right off of that, and this one's going to connect right up because it was already connected. It just throws it right in the middle. It's kind of handy, right? All right, then I'm going to take this Boolean right here. I'm going to attach this one that says, did we actually touch something with our trace? Put it right into here. And let's see how we're doing now. Okay, I'm going to hit play. All right. Picked it up and threw it. And then we're going to make our little spider web of stuff. I hit escape. No errors. Yes, that was our issue. I am amazing. You can thank me later. I accept gifts of Monster, and I like the white one. I like the sugar-free ones. You know, the zero calorie ones. Yeah. Anyway, this is taken care of here. We have our physics handle working. Let's figure out why these aren't working over here, though. This one right here. Let's take a look at in the details. We clicked on this yellow cube, and we're looking in the details over here to the side. Now it has stationary on there. That may not necessarily be a problem. Just means that whenever we run up against it, we won't be able to pick it up. But let's look at some other things. Oh, simulate physics is not working. It's not checked. So with our physics handle, we're not going to be able to pick anything up. Looks like our trace is okay, and we did get a hit before when we looked at this thing. Let's go up to it and see exactly what we're seeing. Yeah, I can't move this thing. I can move the other things. Like if I get up to it, you can kind of see it shake a little bit, right? But this one doesn't move. So I think that physics issue, the simulate physics problem, is our main problem. So let's fix it. Okay, let's see. Simulate physics is right there. And we'll hit play. And let's see if we're working now. Hey, yeah, now we're working. Good. All right. Now this one isn't working either, and because we're not getting a hit, we probably know why. Now it looks like, yeah, physics is working. I'm able to move this thing around. So let's take a look at this red one. The red one, sure enough, it does have simulate physics checked, and it is movable. Not that that necessarily seems to matter. And let's see. Oh, yep. On the visibility trace channel, we're set for ignore. Okay. If I set it for block, now I'm going to be in good shape. Now I should be fine. Let's try this again. Yep, I'm able to pick it up. And I can stack it maybe. Let's see. Oh, hey. Oh, yeah, there we go. Cool. Alright, now we're starting to get into some crazy stuff here. We're going to need to be able to extend this out a little bit so it'll actually land. Oh, no, I toppled it over. Alright, so that's how you're going to be able to fix your physics handle, so you can pick things up. In case you're wondering, like, hey, wait, this isn't working, check those two things. Check your trace channel, and also check to see that simulate physics is checked. Those are really the only two that you have to worry about. Alright, this is going to add a lot more fun and functionality into your game. We need to have this built and working by the end of the period. Alright, let's see how you do.